Greetings everyone. Hope all of you are having an absolutely fantastic day. One of the most interesting things about Pathfinder Abomination Vaults is that it allows you to take control of 4 iconic characters. Now, when I say iconic in Pathfinder, that means these characters are supposed to be the ultimate embodiment of the class. Basically a person who perfectly fits the class that they've been assigned to. And each one of these iconics is going to have their own powers, personalities, and playstyles. Developer BCom Studios recently dropped a breakdown of all of the different iconics and provided some examples of how their powers can be matched together. So in this video, I'm going to summarize all that information and help you get an idea of what combat is going to be like when we finally get our hands on the game. Obviously, I covered just about everything regarding Pathfinder when it comes to video games, so if that interests you, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We are almost at 40,000 subscribers. I would love to hit that before the end of the year, so I appreciate all the support. All right, first up on the list is Amiri, who is of course very familiar to you all if you played Pathfinder Kingmaker, which was Owlcat's very first game. Amiri is a fierce tribal warrior who left behind the lands of her tribe to escape the bonds of her tradition. Her oversized bastard sword is a trophy from when she was sent on a suicide mission by her tribe's elders. Amiri infuses her natural strength, agility, and ferocity with the mystical power of her barbarian rage to overcome even the direst of fiends. Now, for each one of these iconics, BCom provides 3 different potential upgrade paths you could go down. So for Amiri, the first one is Giant Instinct, which allows you to build Amiri as a tough, sturdy, physical focused frontliner who shrugs off powerful blows and pulls the attention of enemies onto herself to keep her team out of harm's way. Then the next option is Spirit Instinct, which lets her tap into the power of her ancestors to deal valuable spirit damage to quickly dispatch undead and void enemies while locking down the battlefield with controlling powers and protective boons. And then finally, with Dragon Instinct, Amiri can harness the power of dragons to access new damage types, covering the battlefield in dangerous fields and slowing down her foes while keeping herself agile. So next up is Harsk. Now, Harsk is a gruff and driven dwarf following a vow of justice to avenge his brother's death at the hands of giants. Unlike most dwarves, he actually prefers tea to ale because he always wants to keep his senses sharp. Now, Harsk has dual axes in each hand along with a dwarven crossbow strapped to his back, so he's ready to meet any challenge that Gauntlet can muster up. Again, he's provided 3 upgrade paths. He can follow the path of the Slayer, gaining access to a range of powerful close range abilities that turn him into an agile melee specialist who darts into battle to rapidly cut down his foes. Or he can follow the path of the Sharpshooter, which gives him the ability to fortify his role as a range damage specialist who keeps foes away and dispatches them from anywhere on the battlefield. And then finally, he also has the path of the Trapper, which explores his passion for dwarven crafting, gaining access to a range of traps, bombs, and attacks that hinder enemies and support allies and give access to new damage types. Usually, I don't like the Trapper style in RPGs, but frankly, for an action RPG like this where you know enemies are constantly going to be flooding towards you, I think being able to lay down traps and knowing that enemies are most likely going to walk through them is probably a very effective way to play the game, and it's probably the path that I'm going to take him down. I'm going to combine that with Amiri being someone who's constantly trying to pull enemies in and taunt and take the brunt of all the damage to keep the heat off the back line, and I'm excited to see how that's going to work out. Next up, we have Kyra. Now, the temple where she grew up was burned down to the ground, and subsequently she swore her life and sword arm to the goddess of sunlight, promising mercy to the deserving and death to those too evil to be redeemed. Her first upgrade path is Mender, and this expands her role as a healer and protector who specializes in keeping her allies on their feet so that they can charge into combat with confidence. Next up is War Priest, which pushes her capabilities as a frontliner, giving her new powers to pull aggro, fortify herself, and dispatch enemies in close range. And then finally, she has Sunspeaker, which is going to expand her repertoire of Serenre's sun magic, giving access to powerful range ranged options that melt enemies from afar with focused sunlight. I'm probably going to go for a mix of Mender and Sunspeaker. I think being able to burn enemies to death with sunlight in an underground cavern sounds really freaking cool. And then finally, we have Ezren. So after years lost trying to clear his father's name, Ezren abandoned his old life and became a wizard after his research revealed that his father was indeed guilty of heresy. Now, unfortunately, no information is provided in regards to Ezren's upgrade paths at this time because it looks like that information is still being fleshed out. So BCom Studios does actually ask what roles or kits would fans like to see for this character. So definitely reach out to them on Discord or on Twitter if you have thoughts and ideas about what you would like to see him be able to do when we finally get the game. All right, now that we've gone over each of them, let's talk a little bit about combos. So at all times, you're going to have access to the entire team, and each hero is powerful on their own, but even stronger when their abilities work in harmony. So some combos are quick 1-2 punches where timing is everything. Like, for example, Harsk could weaken foes with poison before they face Kyra's slashing scimitar. Other combos let heroes create something entirely new. So Ezren is capable of conjuring a wall of fire, but that can become a flame vortex if Amiri spins her sword within the wall, or it could become a flame wave when Harsk cleaves into it with his dual axes, or it can become a fire nova when Kyra smites it. Each hero brings a unique array of combo fields and combo effect generator abilities, thus creating a wide array of interactions between these moves. Also understand that one character might be able to combo another character's move in different ways. So for example, I already mentioned with the wall of fire, Harsk could use his double axes, but he could also perform a heavy attack into the wall of fire and create a cone of fire that rips across the battlefield to hit many approaching foes. Or he could loose his crossbow bolts through the flames, alighting them with flame to gain a boost of powerful elemental damage from afar. Same with Amiri. Instead of the vortex, she could spin through the wall of fire with her whirlwind attack, which would see her launch a flurry of fiery tornadoes. Now, each successful combo strengthens the team's party bond, a system that represents the trust forged in battle. Performing combos, covering allies, and executing team plays all grant party bond XP, advancing the group through tiers 1 through 10. As the bond deepens, the entire party gains lasting benefits, from boosted combo damage and faster revives to stronger healing and longer support effects. The more your heroes fight together, the stronger their connection and the more unstoppable your party becomes. That's all the information listed in this update, but there is a link to do a 1-minute survey at the end, so I'll leave a copy of that link in the description below. And again, you can reach out to the studio through Discord, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, and TikTok. And they also have a newsletter. So there are a bunch of different ways to reach out to BCom Studios if you want to make your voices heard in regards to what features or changes you would like to see, or just to let them know that you really like what they're doing or don't like what they're doing for whatever reason. So definitely connect with them, let them know your thoughts. And if you haven't already, wishlist this game on Steam if you're interested in playing it once it's available. Also, finally, let me know down in the comments if there's any other content regarding this game that you want from me that you haven't seen as of yet. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, hit that bell, and hit the like button to let me know you enjoyed this video. Hope all of you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.